Hello everyone, welcome to Code Escuela, and in this episode we are going to talk about abstract factory design pattern. Let's get started. So, what is abstract design pattern? So, according to Wikipedia, an abstract factory pattern in software engineering is a design pattern that provides a way to create families of related objects without imposing their concrete classes by encapsulating a group of individual factories that have a common theme without specifying their concrete classes. So we also have here a UML class diagram for what it looks like. So what you have here is the abstract factory as an interface, and then you also have under it is several classes that actually implement the signatures or methods that is specified on your abstract factory class. And then these methods would actually create the objects required by or needed by the client. So you have uh, several parts here or sections here that uh, generate the uh, equivalent objects. So all of this is defined from this abstract factory, which is consumed by our client. So the client now would end up using the uh, generic objects or generic classes specified by the abstract factory. And then the actual concrete factory implementations will be the one to actually create or build the objects and returning it as a generic object or class. Okay, so let's see how we could implement this one using a Blazor example. So here I have already a Blazor project. So uh, first off is I've created a theme factory file here where uh, I mean the basic uh, structure of a factory is first you have to have your factory class, which in this case is an abstract class, uh, and then you also have the other classes or the products or the objects that will be uh, used by our client, which is the generated objects from these specified methods. So in this case, our theme factory has a create border and create font methods. So uh, in this case, I have specified in our example, for example, if you're creating a theme for your application wherein you can change the look of your application depending on what uh, type of theme you want to have, then this is what we're trying to do here as an example for our factory or abstract factory example. So, so we have these two classes, both of them are abstract classes, which means that you cannot directly instantiate them, but you can use them as a base class uh, for the subclasses that will be needed or the actual concrete classes. Okay, so once you have your abstract class factory with its methods, then the next thing you would do is like create a concrete implementation of your factory, which in this case we have here two. So in this example, we'll be having like uh, two sets of themes. So for example, you have the box theme and then the round theme. Okay, so for the box theme, so we inherit from the theme factory, which is the theme factory abstract class, and then from there we implement the uh, methods, which is create border and create font. Now here is where uh, the difference lies. So instead of returning the generic theme border object of type object, then we will return a box theme border. Okay, so that means that we have here another class that inherits from our theme border, and then within it is the uh, implementation of the three properties from our theme border or generic theme border. So you have border width, border color, and then border radius. And so yeah, that another one also is the theme font. So since from our theme factory, you are required to implement the create border and create font. So we also have a box theme font that inherits from theme font. All right. Again, two simple properties here that would return the family and the size of the font. Okay, now this is for the box. Now the other concrete implementation that we also do here is for the round theme. So here we have round theme factory, which inherits again from theme factory, which uh, implements the create border and create font methods. But this time we would return round theme font and round theme border objects, okay, which has this implementation. So now we have, again, it inherits from theme border and theme fonts. All right. So each of these concrete factory implementations have different look. So now that we have all this set up, uh, for us to consume the factories or the abstract factories that we've created uh, within ASP.NET Core and Blazor, you can have or inject those factory via this add singleton. So we specify what type and then the actual or concrete class. So in this case, we've passed in box theme factory. All right. So how do we demonstrate that or how it would look like? So we have here our home. In our home page, I have set up a basic form that has a title and a header of abstract factory, and then it's a basic form like sort of like for example a sign up form where we capture first name, last name, and then email, and then a submit button. Now you might have noticed that for us to make use of the themes, so we have here indicated the style. We added an inline style that specifies the border width, color, and radius. Okay, and then that comes from here. Okay, so now the our this component consumes the generic or the objects from the factory, not directly the uh, box theme border or the round theme border objects. All right, so going back here, so now on initialization of the home page, we've used the theme factory. So before before that, we can inject it here, so we can make use of the theme factory that we've set here, and then from there on we can now start using the methods. So we have two methods. We can create the border and then create the font, and then from there we've used these objects to set the font uh, settings, including the family and the size, and then the borders. All right, via this uh, inline styles. Okay, so now if we run this, so we should be able to see the result of using the box theme factory. Right, as you can see, we have used the box theme. So now uh, this has a boxy look for our form. All right, and then it has orange outline. That is because for our box theme factory, for our theme border, we've indicated these values. So 2 pixels and then an orange for the color, and then no radius, so that it turns out as a box or sharp edges for all of these controls. Okay, now what's great about using a abstract factory is that you can quickly switch from a different implementation to another. All right, so in this case, if we want to use the rounded theme factory, we can just switch it out and use the new round theme factory. Now if you run this one, so if we pass in the round theme factory as the concrete implementation, now we have a rounded set of controls. Okay, so we have a rounded box here, and then our controls also has rounded edges, and then it has a color of green. All right, and then it also has a different font style or font family that is used. So yeah, so basically you can switch out whatever factory implementation you want depending on what look or need your application needs. So it only has to have uh, a client code only has to make use of the theme factory itself without worrying about the how or what objects or what type of objects it would return. Okay, so now you can have as many factory implementations that you want, providing that it follows the signature from the theme factory. All right, so uh, the only thing to take note of using an abstract factory is that it's a bit rigid. So if you want more features or functions, then if you've set another method here, then the rest of the concrete factory would also have to implement it on their uh, classes. All right, so that's the thing about this abstract factory. Okay, so but when it comes to flexibility, then it's uh, quite an advantage to have this kind of uh, way of switching out different generation of objects uh, depending on what implementation you want. All right, so that is the abstract factory design pattern. Okay, so please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and hope to see you soon again in our next episode. Thank you and have a great day, everyone.